Today, approximately 1 in 5 people in our society has been incarcerated, been in prison or jail, or has a conviction on their record that may be a barrier to their employment. That's 20% of our population. As a business leader, what I struggle with in that scenario is that the number one challenge every business is having in the United States right now is talent acquisition, turnover. The biggest challenge, if you read anything today, supply chain and talent. We have almost 20% of the population that isn't being captured fully when we look at unemployment rates that are at all-time lows. To me, that is an opportunity not only to improve our society, but also to improve your business metrics. But I think we need to step back. Why do we have this group that is being underserved? I can speak for me. 7 years ago, I would have answered that question much differently than I would answer that question today, and that's because of my experience at Nehemiah Manufacturing. When I have the opportunity to work day by day with people that may have a different background than I did growing up, but I can say we've unlocked the most loyal and hardest working employees that I've ever seen. And that opportunity is there for you as well. We'll get to that in a minute. But let's think about, why do many of our worldviews say keep individuals like that out? Why does that fear deep in our guts that we don't speak about exist? Think about what our media, what the news says about somebody that may have been incarcerated. Think about that view of that reality TV show. What are the messages that we're sending out to our youth about this? Is it one of forgiveness, reconciliation, and inclusiveness, or is it one of separation and barriers to help everyone but not this group? I'd ask you to think really hard about that, because it's you and me that can change that paradigm.
Nehemiah was founded in 2009 with the vision of coming into the inner city core of Cincinnati, Ohio, with the vision of providing sustainable employment for those that needed it most. Our mission was very simple: building brands, creating jobs, changing lives. The building brand piece is a God-given talent that our team has of doing that. We spent a lot of our years in consumer packaged goods companies doing that. When you build brands, the jobs come. And the creating the jobs was providing sustainable employment in the inner city core for those that needed it most. The ability to bring light manufacturing in where people could walk to and from work. Those on the lower end of the economic spectrum that could thrive in our community. I like to say we knew the why of the company before the what, and it's in the name Nehemiah. Nehemiah was an Old Testament prophet called by God to rebuild Jerusalem one stone, one brick at a time. And that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to come in the inner city core, leverage our God-given talents of building brands, and change lives by providing sustainable employment for those that need it most, one person, one day at a time. And we were working with 2 inner city social services to provide us with family members. That's City Gospel Mission, Jobs Plus, the employment arm of that agency, and Cincinnati Works. And within a year of providing us with family members, and we call them family members, not employees, and there's a big difference. If you think about employees, you're only thinking about that individual from maybe 7 to 3:30, 8 hours a day. When you call somebody a family member, you know a lot about them. What's working, what's not working, what their dreams are, their family problems. So that's a big difference, a big paradigm, and that's important to how you think about your business. So a year into what we're doing, we had one of our social service agencies, Jobs Plus, ask us if we would hire somebody with a felony. And you go, okay, what's this all about? And as they said, and he said, we can get them job ready, but if there's no one willing to hire them, why provide hope where there is no hope? So that was the beginning. We said, okay, we're going to give it a shot. And we hired one. And that individual was hardworking, dedicated, thankful for having a job. And that led us to say, hey, we're going to be all in. So we hired 2, we hired 3, we hired 4. And then as we move in this journey, you go a month, 2 months, we were losing people. No call, no shows. No idea where they went. And it wasn't until we were enlightened by another nonprofit senior executive who said, Dan, would you think about hiring a social worker? I said, well, why? And it was because they come out of jail or prison trying to re-enter into society with a heck of a lot going on besides just needing a job. Now that's the number one reason they go back, but there's more to it. And as a leadership team, we were too naive. We didn't know. We didn't know what was needed. So we brought in a social worker. And boy, that was transformative. I say that was the aha moment. Because from day one, when a family member comes to Nehemiah, our social worker will ask, what are your dreams? Where do you want to go? What are the barriers you're facing today that weigh heavy on your heart, or weigh heavy on your mind, that when you walk through the doors of Nehemiah, you can't be the best you can be? We began to see the difference of understanding what those needs are, removing those barriers, helping them be the best they can be, because everyone has greatness inside. Everyone has greatness. It's our job as employers to bring that out, So here we are. We see the greatness that people are achieving. And we only ask 2 things when people walk in our door. We want you to show up on time. We want you to be a team player. And we will coach you up to accomplish what you want to accomplish. I can tell you, got the moral case. You can see right in front of you the moral case of doing this. But there's also a business case. When you have highly productive, highly engaged, caring family members, and you walk in on a production line and you may have 15 people and they're all showing up on time and they care about what they're doing, it drives a better bottom line. And when you have a better bottom line, it provides you the ability to just keep reinvesting in your family member. Now, as we went through this, we talked about removing barriers. And we now have pillars of support that we provide to our family members, either through Nehemiah or in partnership with the nonprofits, and we deal with about 15 of them in the greater Cincinnati area. The 4 pillars where you talk about the basics. First is building community. When you come and re-enter, you want to be part of something. So we work very hard to build that family atmosphere. We have Nehemiah Properties, it's affordable housing, it's transportation, and it's legal support. We provide legal support for our family members because there's a lot of things that need to be dealt with when you re-engage into the community. Then we have 4 pillars of taking yourself to the next level. Spiritual wellness, health and wellness, financial wellness, and continued education. And I could go on and on and on about what we do in each one of those buckets. So we met with the top 100 companies, CEO, presidents, owners, from small, medium, and large. And we've seen many adopt what we've done, from the small, the medium, to the largest. So you're seeing this change in the business community, and I firmly believe if we want change, it's got to be led by the business community. We have the money, we got the jobs. You want social change, we need to lead it. The government plays a role, social services play the role, because we can't be in Nehemiah without the social services and the support. We provide them, they provide us. But we need to lead and make the change. And in our area, we now have over 60 companies involved in hiring Second Chance that have created over 600 jobs. And this is pre-pandemic. This got so big, Beacon of Hope, we had to take it out, Nehemiah. We really couldn't continue to do it. It's now with Cincinnati Works, a very large nonprofit here in Cincinnati. So that's the Nehemiah story. That's why we do it, what we do. So in summary, thank you very much for your time. We greatly appreciate it, and God bless.
For me, this really became real when I got to meet on a one-to-one basis our Second Chance employees. And I've got the tremendous opportunity here to highlight Frank Comer, who's been with us nearly 2 years now, and a gentleman I know and see every day. Let's see Frank's story.
You know, all the wrongs that you've done in your life, you can correct them. You can't go back in time because time is non-refundable. But you have an opportunity to correct the wrongs moving forward. My name is Frank Comer. I served 33 years, 8 months in prison for aggravated murder and robbery, and I received my second chance on January 2nd, 2020. The biggest thing about my mindset is that I think differently than I did prior to going to prison. There are a lot of people incarcerated now that don't have a second chance. And for me to be able to have this second chance is immeasurable. I can't describe in words what this second chance actually means to a person like me. To be able to do the things that my mother seen in me, you know, go to school or receive a college education, have a job, and to be given a second chance gives me the opportunity to get it right. Working at Nehemiah and participating in a second chance program, it lets you know that your past is your past. You're not going to be judged by your past. It's a no judgment zone. And to be able to produce or put out products that can be used on a daily basis in every community, it gives you a sense of pride to be able to work for this company, help the company grow, help the company shine, and to convince other companies that having a second chance program is the right thing to do. You can have the life that you want. You don't have to depend on instant gratification. But if you come to work and work hard, delayed gratification gives you the same result as instant gratification. You just got to have the patience. While in prison, I learned how to play chess. And, you know, in learning the game of chess, it actually mimics life. Because in chess, every move is made with a purpose. Just like every decision you make in life should be made with a purpose. Everything that I've done to become a better person than the day before was because I had thoughts of my mother. I do it for her. I do it for my daughters. I do it for my nieces, my nephews, my brothers and sisters, my wife. I do it for everybody that's involved with me directly or indirectly, because I definitely want to have a positive effect on their life.
Wow. Like I said, I see Frank every day, and I learn something new every time we kind of go deeper and deeper into his story, and it just reinforces why I love working here at Nehemiah. But to close out, think about, at Nehemiah, we now have 140 second chance family members. 140, that seems pretty good. With over 2,000 people returning to prison or jail into Hamilton County, Ohio, where we sit right now today, that's a big impact. But we have 20% approximately of the U.S. population that may have this same challenge. How can we overcome this seemingly Sisyphean journey? The way to do that is because this is exponential. Here's our stat. At Nehemiah, we've tracked folks that we've provided a second chance for, and we believe 14 plus people are impacted for every one second chance family member we bring on board. 140 is now over 1,000 people that we're impacting in the community. And for every company and for every second chance job in America, we can slowly overturn that stigma. How can 1 to 14 happen? Well, it happens because we know for every family member we bring on, we benefit their parents, their siblings, their children, their grandchildren. Maybe somebody that really was a burden on a family can now become a blessing. And we see that when we bring not only our family members, but their families together with us, oftentimes at Christmas. And we hear the stories. We receive the letters from families thanking us. And it's just outstanding. It really is great for the heart and for the soul. So to close, I want you to close your eyes again. I want you to ask yourself, am I still afraid? Do I believe what I've heard today, or is this just a microcosm and some company that maybe got lucky in Cincinnati? What's holding you back from unleashing this potential in your organization or in your community? Do you have the same picture in your mind that you had at the start of this talk as to what does somebody look like who's returning from prison or jail? Open your eyes. Now, hopefully we've been able to shift your thoughts, your paradigm, but we know there's still one question for all of the business leaders out there is, how do I do it? Nehemiah's been doing this for 13 years through trial and error, has a ton of social service support. How do I get started? Well, I am glad you asked. So please click on the link below, scan the QR code, and we have a playbook for you. We want to hear from you. We'd like to connect you to the Beacon of Hope Business Alliance, where we've already connected over 60 companies and touched 600 individuals. We've got companies big and small who have adopted what we're doing, and we've made the playbook simple. The barriers to entry, to use a business term, are lower than they've ever been before, and the opportunity with the talent crisis we have across our nation makes the opportunity even greater. So I challenge you, take the next step, don't be afraid, click the link, and we'd love to hear from you. Thank you.